This is Joe Peters from MomFit with Joe Peters. Welcome to the Spanglish World Network and the Her Network on single TV channels 250 and 251. Please remember to download the single TV in the respective app stores, iOS and Android devices. While you are downloading the app, make sure that you leave us a comment and rate the app. The app is free. Also, remember that Single TV can be available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Fire TV, Roku, and Roku Stick in all the smart TVs since 2016. And if you are not following me yet, please make sure to go to Facebook, Instagram, and find me at Joe Unicorn Coach. If you ever had a challenge, a problem, a question about your journey in motherhood, make sure to send me a message. I handle my social media personally. And if I don't have the answer, I will find an expert like Samantha to come to the show and help us because the mission of MomFit is helping you to win the marathon of motherhood without burnout. And today I'm super excited because we are going to be talking about a topic that is very about moms and is a segue into for everybody that is watching this show live. Happy International Women's Day. I think that is a good reminder of how powerful we are and to remember the shoulders that we are standing on today from all those women decades and centuries ago that paved the way. And even when, if you are a regular in my show, know that I'm a feminist and I know that there is still a huge gap to close in terms of woman and motherhood. I am still aware that those generations behind us closed that gap already a huge amount as well. So happy Mother's Day. And like I was telling my community, my group today, don't wait for anybody to celebrate you. Today, I will invite you to celebrate yourself because you are a woman. And then after you celebrate yourself, start thinking of how you can celebrate other badass women in your life. So I love that this topic is today on International Women's Day because it's a lot about us taking care of us. And one of those ways is with our skincare, that for the ones that don't know that, our skin is our largest organ in our body. It's actually considered an organ and it's the largest one. There is not one that is bigger, well, maybe the intestines when they are straight, but it's one of the biggest ones. And we are going to be talking a little bit about that with Samantha. And Samantha has been a licensed esthetician since 2003, and she opened Skin Deep Aesthetics in 2010. She's also an author, a speaker, and her passion is beyond the skin to include the health to achieve through health and what you're eating a healthy skin for her clients by finding the root cause of the problems. And in this, we both agree that the skin is just the side effect. The skin is just the fever. It's just the symptom. It's just like, hey, something is not going right. And then we need to find the root cause. And Samantha is an expert in finding those root causes. Samantha loves educating women and moms, sharing her passion for skin, and her mission is to empower women and moms to take control of their skin, simplify their routine, and I love this, love the reflection they staring back at on the mirrors. Samantha is also a single mom of three and loves spending time with her kids, help at school when she can, love bath, reading, journaling, and cooking. So, Samantha, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Let's gonna talk a little bit about who Samantha is and where that passion for um, skiing come from.
Thank you, Joe. It's so exciting to be here today. So, yeah, um, I've been doing facials for over 20 years, and I kind of fell into the holistic side of skincare by accident. So, I never had acne or bad skin as a teenager. It wasn't until I went off birth control to start a family. And then all of a sudden, I was dealing with full blown acne. And at the time, I was an esthetician. And it was funny because everything I was doing was what I was trained to do, but I couldn't clear up my own skin. So it was very frustrating trying to help clients with their skin when I couldn't even help my own. And then as I got pregnant and had kids, my skin was clear. So I just assumed it was hormonal. And then after my third was born, I had a lot of baby weight to lose. So I did like a little gut cleanse to clean out the inflammatory foods and try to lose the rest of the baby weight, which I did. But the interesting thing was I ended up clearing up my skin for good and realizing that the foods we put in our body are inflammatory, and our skin, because it's a detox organ, it shows up. So acne, rosacea, eczema, any of those inflammatory skin conditions, it's all related to our gut. So that's kind of been my philosophy over the years. And that's how I've been able to help clients.
I love that, and I think that I want you to talk a little bit about your favorite phrase. I asked all my guests to give me a favorite phrase, and your favorite phrase was, every woman deserves to love the reflection staring back at her. So
Yes.
talk a little bit about what that means to you and what that is important.
I mean, I've been doing this so long, but I love when a client, when you can give a client results because it boosts their confidence and it makes them feel good. And, it's funny because especially with social media now, everyone thinks that we have to have all these products. You see all these Korean skincare that has like 15 products. I'm all about simplicity because our skin is an organ. And just like when we have issues with our gut or with our health, if we give it the nourishment and we kind of step back and heal it, it'll heal itself. So the same thing with the skin. If you give the skin, more nourishing skincare products and simplify it, it will actually start to heal itself.
Okay, super. So now I was going to talk a little bit about what happened on a woman's body during pregnancy and birth and postpartum,
Yeah.
and maybe have some journey for people to understand, because what you were saying, you were having acne and you didn't knew, and
Hmm.
that happened a lot with moms. Is they're
Yeah.
having the pregnancy, but then their hormones start changing, and then their skin that it was never oily is now oily,
Right.
or now it's super dry. You
Mhm.
have also stretch marks. That is one of the biggest fears. Like, I know that was one of my biggest fears when I was pregnant,
Yeah.
and then in postpartum. So what is the connection between that very special time in our life and our skin?
Yeah. Obviously, hormones play a huge role in that. And it can, everyone's skin is different. Like some women have perfectly clear skin. I was fortunate enough to have clear skin when I was pregnant. Other women have horrible acne. They have major skin problems. They have, their skin does change because just like when you have kids that are starting puberty, all of a sudden they're becoming oily for the first time, which is why they tend to have acne. Same thing when we're pregnant. Our hormones can shift. We can either become oilier or dry, just depending. And then a lot of times women get those dark patches on their face, which we call the mask of pregnancy, but it's just hyperpigmentation, and it just puts stress on the inside of our body, and that pigmentation comes out through the skin. So those are some of the changes and some of the things that happen, and it could be different hormonal fluctuations for every woman. So
And on that one, for example, if a woman is getting into pregnancy, what are
mhm.
some of the things that she can start doing or be aware of? So when these kind of things happen, instead of being an additional stress thing to worry about, they could be like, oh, I hear this from Samantha.
Yeah.
This was something that was expected, and this is what I can do.
Right. A lot of times when we have acne, we try to attack the skin. We try to use like salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide or retinols. We try to use like all these harsh ingredients. When you're pregnant, you're not supposed to be using them because they can get in the bloodstream, and, it can affect, you don't want to have that in your body when you're pregnant. So I always try to keep it more simple. A lot of times, like even when I have acne clients, like I'll have them just straight up ice their skin because the ice calms the inflammation. And just go get regular facials. Just go get, I mean, you deserve to be pampered when you're pregnant, but those facials can get those blackheads out and help calm your skin because we have different tools that we can use in the spa where we can actually calm your skin down in a more natural way.
And that is a good clarification and knowledge, because we sometimes get scared as pregnant into, oh, what I can do, what I cannot do,
Right.
and instead of searching, we just go for the safest thing, that is, I will not do anything. I remember when I was pregnant, I didn't even put gel in my nails because I was
Right.
like, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's going to affect. So the safest thing was not doing it.
Right.
So, what about that part of the taking care of the skin while we are pregnant with things like facial? Do we need to ask for a specific way to do the facial? Are they all safe?
Yeah.
Where are we there?
I mean, I wouldn't go to a medical spa. I would go to an actual esthetician or a day spa because I mean, we're trained to know like different skin types and understand like what products are safe during pregnancy, what are not. And it again, it all comes to simplicity. As long as you're just washing your face and putting moisturizer on, morning and night, that's all the support your skin needs. Your goal during pregnancy is to keep your skin supported. We can help get rid of the acne, the inflammation, the blackheads, that kind of stuff. But you know, in between those treatments, just keeping it simple and just giving your skin that nourishment is really all you need to do.
Okay. Now let's gonna talk a little bit about, because this is something that, and I don't know if you have a better way to do it with taking care of your skin, but
Mhm.
I remember my mom when I was like 12, 13 years old telling me, you have to start putting cream on you
Mhm.
and this. And I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
And then I remember being in college and coming out from party full of makeup and going to bed. And my
Yep.
mom was like, no, never
I
go
know.
with makeup on.
Mhm.
And for years, like in my 20s, I was like, "Ah, whatever." Now that I'm in my 40s, like, first thing that I do is put my cream for my eyes, for things.
Mhm.
So, how we as moms can understand that connection and do a little better job with our daughters, with our teens,
Yeah.
into learning about the skin in a way that is not like, "Oh, mom, okay, yeah, shut up." So, because the reality is the average of us lose a good 10, 20 years of skincare
Mhm.
because we don't start when we should, and when our moms tell us that is
Right.
around our poverty. We
Mhm.
start usually in our 30s, 40s, when we are like, oh, I'm starting to see wrinkles. Now
Yep.
it's time. So, what
Yeah.
we can do as moms to close that gap, that bridge.
I mean, times are so different now because our kids are on TikTok, and I actually just launched a skincare line for tweens and teens that is simple, safe, and effective for kids because they're going on TikTok, they're going to Sephora, they're buying all these adult products and they're hurting their skin. So actually that's like something I'm stepping into now is getting in front of tweens and teens and talking to them about starting a routine because they want 15 products, which is crazy because I remember being that age and being like, same thing. I don't want to wash my face. I don't want to put this on. But all they need at a young age is just cleanser, moisturizer, and SPF if they're going to be outside. Establishing a good routine at a young age, and these girls are starting at 7 or 8 years old. So it's mind blowing to me that they're that interested in skincare, and their moms are taking them to Sephora. They're spending hundreds of dollars. They're using retinols, glycolics, and all these like really aggressive skincare products that are going to end up hurting their skin. So as moms, I feel like we need to be a little bit more aware of what our kids are watching on social media and just understand like the types of products that are being sold to them and who those influencers are. But again, just keeping it simple. Like my line literally has 2 products because that's all they need.
And I think that that is very interesting because I don't have a daughter, I have a boy, but
Mhm.
um, that never occurred to me that there are some products that were designed for women that are not safe for the skin of a preteen or
Yep.
a teen. So, how moms can understand that, and especially if we are talking about a mom like me
Mhm.
that never learned that early on, I can see how they were like, yeah, let's go to Sephora and let's gonna buy all the things that I don't know Jessica Sarah Parker is wearing and is
Right.
using, when that is not the right thing for them. And instead of just using the product because is what is cool, is
Mhm.
working on actually giving them the knowledge of what they need to do and why,
Right.
in the scale, in the protection of their skin.
Mhm. Yeah. And influencers now, they're kind of like, I get frustrated as an esthetician because I went to school, I studied, and I've been working on the skin for over 20 years. But And moms don't really understand this. They see somebody talk about skincare for wrinkles and they're like, oh, I need that product. So then they buy it. And then they see another product and they're like, oh, I need this skincare. So really, it's all about educating moms and educating kids because, we're going on social media trying to fix the problem. And really, we need someone to kind of be like, oh, no, this is what the problem is. And this is how we can fix it. So I feel like it's that big education piece that really needs to start to come to the forefront.
And how we can start doing that part of that education?
So I would try not to follow influencers on social media. I would look for estheticians or even like, there's plenty in everyone's area. Estheticians are all over the country. I would start to follow estheticians and kind of reach out to them. Or even, I do free skin consultations. I'll do them virtually, I'll do them in person, just to kind of talk to somebody and get to know like what's really going on with their skin. Because when you're using all these different products, it can change the way your skin responds, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So now let's gonna be talking. I love that you are keep saying about the simplicity.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest pushbacks and fears that we have as moms is that we are busy, and you know this because you are a single mom of three, is how how we can get over that of I don't have time to take care of my skin. I don't
Right.
have time. And then I want you to talk from your expertise of what happened if you take care of your skin, what happened if you don't take care of your skin in
Mhm.
your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s.
Right.
And then maybe you help us to remove that myth that is going to take 3 million years for me to do my skincare routine and therefore I don't do it. And then
Right.
actually go into how it can be simply
Mhm.
a small routine that do what I need to, and what is the impact of that?
Right. So I do this a lot with first time clients. I will strip them down to a cleanser morning and night and a moisturizer morning and night, and then SPF for the day. Just because I feel like when we're using all these products, we're changing the way the skin is responding. If we're dry and we're using products designed for oily skin, we could be creating sensitivity and dehydration in the skin, and then the skin just doesn't respond well enough. Now with the simplicity, like another interesting thing that I always tell clients is you don't have to wash your face right before bed. We have this idea where like, oh my gosh, have to wash your face and then go to bed. But if you're home with your kids, do it before you sit down to watch TV. Or like when I have two little ones that were back to back. And when they were babies, I would put them in the bathtub, give them their baths, throw a few toys in there, and do my skincare routine. So that way, after they went to bed, it was like I was done. So just try to figure out ways to fit it into your schedule so that way it works for you. And then you're not scrambling and going, oh my God, I fell asleep on the couch. Now I got to get up and wash my face. Do it before you sit on the couch. So that way, if you fall asleep, you can just go to bed.
And then the other thing that I'm hearing you, because I'm hearing you to say it, is it doesn't have to be complicated with five different products and max and things. It can be as simple as washing your face. And I want to hear this one. Is why it's important to do it at night, and why it's important to do it in the morning. Why the recommendation is first thing in the morning and before to go to bed.
Yeah. So the reason we wash our face at night is because dirt, oil, pollution from being out and about, it all accumulates on top of our skin. When we sleep, our skin is an organ and all our organs repair themselves, which is why getting quality and enough sleep is important because our skin needs to repair itself. If it's not repairing itself, it can actually cause skin problems. It could actually speed up the aging process. So that's why you need to wash your face at night. And then in the morning, again, because our skin is a detox organ, all our toxins come out through the pores. So we need to wash that off in the morning. That's why because I get that question all the time, but I just washed it before bed. It doesn't feel dry or anything. Like, why do I need to wash it? It's because like our pores sweat. So all that sweat can sit on the skin and actually clog your pores up. So that's why it's important to wash your face in the morning as well.
Okay. And now I'm gonna talk a little bit about something that I didn't care about for a long time, and now I'm
Mhm.
obsessed with, and that is sunscreen protection
Yep.
(SPF).
Hmm.
And um, why that is important, and do we need to wear it all the time? Do we need to wear it even if we are having a hat? Do we
Mhm.
need to wear it even if we are not going to be a long time exposed to the outdoors, but we are going to just be doing errands, going in and out of the car? Why that is important, and when do we need to use it, and why is a good practice to have it as part of our daily routine?
Yeah, SPF is huge, especially now because I feel like the sun is stronger than it was when we grew up. And I think that's why we're seeing more and more cases of skin cancer and sun problems is because the sun is stronger. You know, when we grew up, we didn't protect our skin. We were outside all the time and we never had issues. But we're also now in our 40s and starting to see age spots popping up. So we are starting to see accumulation of that damage. So if you wear sunscreen from a young age and consistently wear it, you're going to protect your skin. Sunscreen, believe it or not, is actually the number one anti-aging product we have on the market because it keeps your skin younger looking because the sun damage is what can actually age us. And you were talking about running errands and putting sunscreen on. And I feel like that is when we need sunscreen the most. Because when we know we're going to the beach or pool or we're on vacation, we put sunscreen on because we know we're going to be outside. But it's those day to day, oh, I'm going to run and grab a coffee. While I'm out, I'm going to run to the store. It's like you're going in and out, you're sitting in the car, the sun's hitting your face. I call it accidental sun exposure because we're out in the sun, we're not thinking about it, but the sun is still directly hitting our skin. And that's when the majority of us get the most sun damage.
I love that. Now, on that one, will you recommend exclusive SPF, or you recommend one of those moisturizers that had a? You're watching a movie?
Aw,
Yeah. No, come on. No, I'm busy
so
with
cute.
Samantha. You cannot. I cannot go with you. I'm watching the we're watching a spooky movie. Okay, go. No, I cannot go. I'm working with Samantha. You can stay here very quiet if you want to have some book. Um, what will be something that is better, because talking about simplicity, one of those brilliant inventions that I don't know now, because you are the expert, you will tell me if it's not a, it's not a brilliant invention, but those that are, go and get dressed, is those moisturizers that had 15 SPF or 20 FPS. Will that be sufficient for what you are saying and protected, or we need to start thinking on the 50 SPF that we use when we are going into the beach, or what would be a good protection for daily routine of sunscreen?
I always like to have both. You know, your SPF with a moisturizer, that's good for your day to day because, you know, you don't want to moisturize and SPF when you're out at the beach or the pool because then it becomes really thick and heavy. So that's where having like a regular SPF just to constantly reapply is good. So again, with the simplicity, having a moisturizer with SPF in there is great because it's one step. You don't have to put moisturizer on and then put SPF on. And then some of them now are even tinted. So you have an SPF, a moisturizer, and a tint all in one. So you don't even have to put makeup on.
And do we need to, it will be like, because I know that there is like 15, 20, 25,
Yeah.
and then for people that don't know, like, is more better, or is 15 enough? What is the process there for that skincare?
So it depends. Like I prefer zinc-based products, and those, if it's a 15% zinc, it's totally fine. Sometimes when you get in those higher numbers, a lot of those are chemical based, and it just means there's more chemicals in that sunscreen product. So, like, the difference between like an SPF 30 and an SPF 100 is almost nothing. It's just more chemicals because the sun protection that we have from our SPF, it's never going to be 100%, which is why we still get a little bit of tan even when we're wearing sunscreen. They all protect about 97% of the sun's rays. So you're always going to have that, you know, that sun exposure no matter how much sunscreen you wear. So I would say zinc based is best, but yeah, a 15 is fine, especially if you're running errands. If you're going to be outside in the sun, like a 30 to 50 is plenty.
Okay, now I was gonna drive a little bit from the mom
Mhm.
skincare into our kids,
Okay.
and sun protection and sun skincare for our children.
Yes.
And then I think that the most basic one of skincare habits and routines is teaching them to get sunscreen when they are going out.
Absolutely.
And on that one, because I know that there are so many moms that are more and more aware of the chemicals and the
Mhm.
things that are toxic, how we can know which products are safe and clean to use in our babies, in our
Yeah.
children, in a daily basis, to also start creating that concept of healthcare and skincare and skin care routine.
Yeah. I know moms are not going to like me for this, but I don't like spray sunscreens at all. Those are full of chemicals. I know they're easy to just spray it, but half the time you're missing the kid, especially if you're outside. That wind is blowing it and they're only getting a trace amount. So I never recommend anything with the spray. I always recommend zinc base because zinc base is the best sunblock we have. You know, the chemicals will get into the skin. Whereas the zinc, it's a mineral, so it sits on top of the skin. So the problem with zinc, and kids don't like this, and my kids don't either, it's thick and it's heavy and it leaves that white cast. But it really truly is the best product and it's going to protect our kids' skin the best. Like I
And I,
personally like the blue lizard one. That's the one I use on my kids. Um, you know, I feel like it still leaves that white cast, but it's not as thick as some of the other ones.
And I was going to tell you that I just bought one for E that is the zinc, but then they have some pigmentation that is blue. So
Cool.
the layer that is white then is not white, it's blue. So
Okay.
then it's like, oh, it looks
Mhm.
cooler.
Yeah.
Um but I love that tip, moms, on whenever you can try to use more like creams or one thing that sometimes I do is I just spray on my hands and then my hands get in touch with his.
Mhm.
Um, and one thing that I love about the skincare that you said is, and I think that this can be your slogan into sunscreen is the best anti-aging product that we have, and I never thought about it, but is right. And
Mhm.
sometimes we still, for lack of information and lack of people like you in our lives to teach us and share wisdom with us, is saying like, yeah, I don't want to have wrinkles and I don't want to age, but at the same time I'm not protecting my skin from sun. I'm not protecting my face. And when you were saying that, I actually pop in my mind that one of the things that we always are admiring from Asians is that they don't age. We are
Right.
like, oh my God, you look like 25 and you are 50. But every single time I'm traveling around the world, every single time that I'm traveling in sun, when I'm in a tank top because
Mhm.
it's hot,
Right.
um, I see the Asians with big hats,
Mhm.
long sleeves. They
Yeah.
are protecting from the sun,
Yeah.
and that didn't click to me until you say that. Is
Right.
because they are aware that that is the biggest anti-aging thing that you can do, and is protecting from the sun.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And it does. It speeds up the aging process. So, you know, we're both in our 40s and it's like we grew up with that sun worshiping mindset. And I have so many friends and clients that they're like, I love my son. And I'm like, well, that's fine, but you know, don't complain when you have lots of wrinkles.
And I think that is also a paradigm into define what I love my son, because I'm from Colombia. I love sun, but that desire that I had in my 20s to get burn and get color and get red and
Yeah.
like literally I go to the beach with long sleeve swimming suit
Mhm.
and then hat, and I still enjoy my sun and I
Right.
still love feeling the sun and the hot, but with in a different level of protection.
Mhm.
So now, where in the self care, self love do you think that the skincare routine can step in into a mom's daily routine?
I mean, it's very important. And you need to have a morning routine and a night routine. You know, like you don't need to be doing stuff throughout the day unless you're going to be outside. And then I just recommend sunscreen. But, you know, you want to, most of us get up and shower in the morning. So it's easy to just wash our face and put moisturizer on then, and then the night routine I know can be really tricky, especially for moms. And I mean, my kids are a little bit older now, and I feel like the older they get, the busier I am. So it's actually more difficult, but you just have to make it like commit to it and be like, you know what? I'm going to go wash my face and put my moisturizer on, even if that's all you do. I mean, you can add serums and stuff, but I feel like just keeping it simple, because doing something is better than doing nothing.
Absolutely. I also think that we can, instead of seeing it as something else that I need to do, can be a time for me to show myself love
Right.
and a time for me to show care on
Hmm.
myself
Yeah.
into that experience and into that world.
Hmm. And you
Now, go ahead.
I was to say, you can pick like a day of the week where you're like, you know what? I'm going to do a mask. Like every Sunday, self-care Sunday, do a mask that day, or do something a little different just to kind of make yourself feel good. It's just fun to do that here and there.
Good. And I love that is how we can take care of us in a way that is easy and simple, so we take off that pressure of I'm too busy or it's too complicated to do. Now,
Right.
going back into your phrase,
Hmm.
what do you see with your clients into that point where we stop loving the reflection looking back at us, and how these can help back to feel that confidence and that anchoring?
Yeah. And I feel like our skin's always changing. It's always evolving. We're going to have, during pregnancy, our skin does one thing. Then we get a little bit older. Then we hit our 30s and our skin starts changing again. Then we start going through menopause. So I feel like women have a lot of those like life milestones that are always going to be altering the skin. And I feel like that's why having an esthetician is really important, because we can help support your skin. Even like I'm in Chicago, so I change my clients' skincare products from season to season because we go from hot and humid summers to cold and dry winters. So your skincare does have to evolve. And as your skin changes, your skincare needs to evolve, but we can also add things to it, but not overcomplicate it either, to support whatever's going on. Like if someone's getting older and they're starting to get really dry or they start to get acne, there's ways we can calm and hydrate the skin by adding maybe one or two little serums in. But we never stray from that like foundation. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that the theme that I'm seeing with you going over and over is reminder that it can be easy,
Hmm.
that we as moms have the responsibility to do it not only for ourselves but also to protect our kids from the brainwash that is happening into what actually they need, and
Hmm.
then use that social media as a ally into helping us to make them create those habits, but filter into what they are absorbing and from who.
Right.
So now another question into the skincare. Um, Females versus males. Like,
Hmm.
do we need to worry and do skincare just for our daughters, for our girls, or is a good practice for us to also teach our boys to
Yeah.
do it? And then, if it's also for boys valid, then what are some of the ways that we can do it so the patriarchal society push don't get trigger on them?
Yeah. No, men definitely need skincare. And it's I have two teenage boys and they refuse to wash their face and they refuse to be consistent. My oldest is 16. He's breaking out, and I feel like it's such a battle with him. I mean, teenagers know more than we do. So right there, it's like, I'm out. He'll figure it out. But I feel like men really do need to establish a good routine too, especially again, they most of them use bar soap and they don't put moisturizer on it. And it can be as simple as what we're doing. Just use a cleanser and a moisturizer. Most men don't wear SPF. They need SPF. Men don't tend to take care of their skin because their skin tends to be oilier. So they don't have that like need like a woman does to constantly put product on our faces, because they're just oilier by nature, but they need to be doing very similar things as we are, because And I feel like men now are stepping into that realm where they are starting to take care of their skin, because I'm getting more and more male clientele, even like my teenage clients. It's important to try to establish a simple routine. Teenagers, like I said, I have one, and they're very resistant because they don't want to change. They don't want to do more. But I feel like, at least having that cleanser moisturizer for them is establishing a good routine.
Perfect. So what you're saying is us. What do you think about us doing that routine with them? Like,
Yeah.
and start making it
Mhm.
something that we do with them as something fun that we do together as a family. It's time to
Yeah.
wash our face. It's time to put our moisturizer. And because one of the things that I've been seeing, for example, with my toddler, is at this age, he loves doing what mom is doing. So
Yeah.
when I'm putting my things, he wants to put. So I
Mhm.
also tell him like, okay, put your
Yeah.
deodorant and all that. But then how we can start using that to create the habits since they are little,
Mhm.
and don't try to make it after the wall. Now I have another question for you. That is one that a lot of moms had is, when is any time too late to start a skincare? Like, if
Mhm.
I never did it and I'm in my 40s or my 50s, is ever too late?
No. I mean, you're probably not going to get as good of a result, but having a good routine at any age is important. I mean, I have clients that come in their 40s and 50s that are like almost never wash their face. And it's amazing the changes that can happen over the next 30 days by just adding two products in.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
And as we start going into the closing of this episode, I would love for you to share, because there is a big now conscious and awareness into eating healthy.
Yes.
And at the beginning we were talking about, in your bio I was sharing how for you it's very important to have the root cause. So why we don't talk a little bit about that, about what is the connection? You were saying it's one of the biggest organs, it detoxify. So what is the connection on the root cause, and why is important to go beyond what is happening in the skin and just send a product to fix what is happening in the screen in the skin?
Yeah. I'm going to use acne because it's a really easy theme to kind of go off of. I can only do so much with acne. If someone's acne is coming from their gut, I can support their skin and help hydrate it, but it's never going to clear up because it's surface. We're trying to treat it at the surface when really you need to go inside. And in America, we live off heavily processed foods. We eat dairy, gluten, corn, soy. We eat all these very inflammatory foods, and it targets our gut. It causes all this inflammation, and that inflammation comes out through the skin. So when you see acne or when you see any inflammatory skin condition, that's your skin trying to tell you like there's something going on in your body. There's inflammation, and you need to fix what's causing that inflammation, because we're never going to be able to clear your skin up. I mean, you go to a doctor, they'll give you medication. Medications can temporarily clear your skin, but again, medications put stress on the gut. So eventually, that's why medications don't work long term, because it's targeting your gut and then it's coming back out through the skin. So it's like we're constantly on that hamster wheel of trying to fix a problem but never getting to the root cause. So like when someone comes in with acne, I have them do like a food journal and write down everything that they eat over the next 30 days, and then track like how their skin is and see if they can pinpoint, is it dairy, is it gluten, is it sugar, what foods could you be eating that could be causing inflammation in your body that's causing the acne to come out. If that we can't figure it out, I will refer them to like a naturopathic doctor or functional medicine doctor who can run like a more of a full panel blood draw and find all those inflammation markers and really help them. So it's kind of like a nice partnership, but really, inflammation starts with the gut.
And on that one, I would love to hear your opinion, because um, there are two of the main reasons that people share is are, well, but I've been eating this my entire life,
Yep.
and just recently I'm having the issue,
Hmm.
or but everybody else eat it and they don't have an issue and I do. So where is that coming from, and why those are not valid explanations for why I can be reacting to some of these inflammatory foods with skin problems?
The problems have always been there. It's just now they're starting to come more to the surface. It's like I feel like we have these underlying problems and we just kind of avoid it. Like gas and bloating. Most of us are just like, oh, it's no big deal. But that's actually your gut telling you that the foods you just ate doesn't work with your body. Sometimes headaches. A lot of people, I have tons of clients that are constantly getting headaches. A headache is a result of something your body doesn't like, because anytime there's inflammation, your body's going to respond to it. And I think we just kind of like push these off as, oh, oh, I got another headache, or, oh, I don't feel good, or, oh, I ate too much, I'm bloated today. It's due to my period or whatever. But all these signs are kind of our body being like, no, there's a problem, there's a problem. And then all of a sudden it builds and it gets to the point where it's too much. And the body's like, all right, now I'm going to start reacting because you keep giving me those foods. And
And
it's
I think,
hard.
huh?
It's hard to give it up. I had to give it all up, and it's hard at first, but once you get it out of your system, you realize how much better you feel.
And I think that that is also another one on the skin that is important, and is like I always say, like that is one of the last symptoms. So by the time that is in your skin is because it's being inside of you, and your
Mhm.
body's being trying to get to homeostasis as much as possible. When
Yep.
it's showing up in your skin, your body's actually saying, I try my best and I'm giving up. I cannot balance this crap, and I'm giving you this signal because I need your help into getting this balance out.
Right.
So that is phenomenal. Now, as we start closing the show, I
Mhm.
would love for you to start wrapping up into what one message you want to give to the moms and the moms to be that are listening us around the world on this topic. And then also, if they want to learn more about you, about your skin line for teens, about the work that you are doing with the skins, how they can connect with you in any channel.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to tell moms, be kind to yourself. If you skip a day, it's okay. That one day is not going to kill you. It's like we're all moms, we're human, we make mistakes. That's life. I mean, we're all busy, so just do what you can. And if you miss a day, it's okay. Just get back on the train tomorrow. A lot of times we feel like we have that one setback and we're like, that's it, I'm out. It's like, no, it's okay. Just say, it's all right. I made a mistake today and tomorrow I'm going to do better.
And I love that. And is that compassion and that grace that we always talk and believe in MomFit. Now, tell me how they can find you, how they can connect with you if they want to learn more from
Yeah.
you.
So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, with both companies. My handle is Skin Deep IL, and then the tween line is zozo.skin. And my tween line is also on TikTok at zozo.skin.
Okay. So go find Samantha there at Soso
Skin.
that skin. And what is the other one?
Skin Deep IL.
Skin Deep at L. And let's make this International Women's Day a reminder that we can love and care about ourselves in easy ways, like Samantha just beautifully shared with us, washing our face and having some moisturizer and sunscreen, and also seeing how small things can long term make a big impact, like something as simple like 2 minutes skincare in the morning and the evening compound throughout the years can make a big difference in, like Samantha was telling us, our aging,
Mhm.
skin cancer, scars, and what she was saying, that a lot of moms that are in their 30s 40s are facing the same that she and I are saying, is we are being fine, our skin is being fine for many years, and now the spots are starting to come out. Now we are starting to face some of these other things. So it's time. I love what she said, it's never too late. If you don't have one, start following Samantha, start finding an easy way for you to take care of your face or your skin, of your body, and then start. It's not about blaming ourselves. If we didn't know better yet, we didn't did better. But one of my favorite phrases is, when we know better, we do better. So now it's just about us studying ourselves, and also studying with our teens, with our toddlers, with our kids, into teaching them the habit of doing this not as something that girls do, but something as humans do, to take care of their body, to take care of their skin, to protect themselves. Samantha, thank you so much for being with us on MomFit today. It was a pleasure to having you. Thank you for all the work that you are doing with moms and with women, into helping them to like and love the reflection that they have looking at them back. And for everybody, as you are following Samantha, please make sure that you follow me as well in Instagram and Facebook, Joe Unicorn Coach. Remember, MomFed mission is helping you to win the marathon of life without burnout. And I want to wish all of you a super happy Women's Day. If you are celebrating yourself today, please send us a message and share with us how you celebrate. Maybe you are going to buy flowers. Maybe you are going to go on a date with yourself. Maybe you are going to have a nice bath. Maybe you are going to go and buy your first moisturizer and screen protection after Samantha inspire you. Make sure that you share all of that with us. And this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out www.spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it.